get started. Again, man, thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
My man, my man. All right, here we go. All right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with Julius Walker. Julius, how we doing?
Doing good, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can't complain. And Julius, man, you got a big fight coming up, title one.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Sir, taking on Niall Bartling, main event of Synergy FC promotion based over here in Missouri and Kansas. He's a good, solid guy, wrestler. Wrestled at Nebraska, was on the Ultimate Fighter, but I think he'll be coming to wrestle. I'll be coming to fight, and it'll be a good one.
Yeah, 100%. And this is your fourth pro fight, man. You're already the
Yep.
main event. What are the emotions like? Headlines, big card, so early in your pro career.
Man, I'm definitely honored. I really wanted to try to step up in competition. I've had 3 first-round finishes to start the career, and they've all been pretty quick, all been fairly easy. Haven't really taken any damage, so I really want to see where my level's at. I think this is an opportunity for me to do that. Opportunity to maybe go a little bit later. Super excited about fighting 5 rounds, man. I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, man. And that was something I did hear from you. You were calling out some of those guys. You wanted that tougher competition. Now you got it.
Yep.
And with that being said, man, with Niall being on the Ultimate Fighter, did you happen to watch any of his film? And if so, with maybe some holes in his game that you think you can maybe expose in this fight?
Yeah, I watched his fight on the Ultimate Fighter. He fought Zach Pauga, who's a really good, really solid guy. And it was really clear it was one of those fights. Pauga wanted to keep it on the feet, and I wanted to get it to the ground. It's one of those things where if you can prevent him from getting on top of you, you're going to be able to potentially have some success. Um, but he's a tough guy. He can get on top of you. He seems to get pretty tired pretty quickly. So I definitely think that's something I'm going to be able to exploit.
Yeah, 100%. And speaking about being tired, man, you had 3 first-round finishes. What do you typically do in the gym to get your cardio ready in case this one does go past the first round?
Yeah, for sure. Just getting a lot of rounds in. There's really nothing like going live in MMA. I don't think it's one of those things where you can go to the gym, you can run. Road work's great. You can run sprints, the assault bike, all that stuff is really good. But you definitely have to get those rounds in, good hard rounds, long days. And I definitely think that's the stuff I've been doing. Got a really good strength and conditioning coach, Taylor Ramsdale, and he puts me through the ringer.
Yeah, no, that's definitely nice to hear. And man, you have a lot of amateur fights. With that being said, man, how do you think the amateur scene has been different compared to the pro scene?
As an amateur, man, it's a little bit easier to fight, honestly. I feel like there's more guys that are willing to take more challenging fights. When I was an amateur, I was traveling. I had to travel a little bit, find good guys to fight, and I was just trying to fight the toughest guys I could. I started off 4-3, and was able to finish with some wins, and I enjoyed being an amateur for sure.
Nice. Now, with Niall being such a, he was a high profile guy, being on the Ultimate Fighter. What do you think a big win could do for your career here?
I think it'll be big. I definitely think that it'll start really getting me on everybody's radar. I truly believe that if you put on good performances in the cage, and just be a person, like just be yourself. I think a lot of guys are really trying to play character these days. I think if you put on good performances in the cage, just be yourself and put yourself out there. People will be attracted to that, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Nice. Now, with you fighting now, being so young in your pro career, are you a full-time fighter, or do you happen to do any sort of work on the side, or are you full-time?
No, I work on the side. I'm on staff at an insurance company, insurance and financial services company. I went to college for finance, so I actually graduated this past May. That was what I was doing for most of my amateur career. My pro debut was like a few weeks before I graduated college. And it's been a good time. I'm trying to get to the point where I can fight more. I work pretty part time, which is nice. But I definitely feel like I'm training just as much as a full-time athlete.
Yeah, 100%. And man, with you being the main event, for someone that might not have seen you fight before, why should they tune into your fight?
You know, It's going to be a high-paced fight. a lot of the time you see bigger guys get in there, and it can be a little bit slow, especially when there's a wrestler involved. You guys can be kind of laying on top of each other, but if you watch my fights, you won't see a lot of that. I'm a really tough guy to hold down, purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and I'm an athletic, long, rangy guy that's going to fight at a pretty high pace for the duration of the fight. Out of all my wins, all but one, I finished my opponent. Um, and I definitely think that that's going to be the case once again.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And man, with you being so athletic, are you open to maybe fighting at heavyweight and light heavyweight long term? Kind of bouncing around so you can be a double champ one day.
Yeah, I mean that would be sweet for sure. I'd say right now, I'm definitely transitioning to staying back at 205. I think at 205 I'm a little bit lighter. I'm definitely a lot faster at 205. My heavyweight fights I was getting pretty heavy. Like I was weighing in at 255 for my last couple. And I was just too big. Like I shouldn't. I was eating too much. Not following a strict enough diet. So I definitely think I'm going to be 205 for the future, but I'm a big dude. I'm going to be one of those guys that as I get older, I definitely am going to be able to go to the heavyweight division if I wanted to.
Very nice, very nice. And a lot of these guys nowadays, they get called into the UFC on these short notice fights. Would that be something you're interested in, or would you like to kind of maybe get a full camp for your debut in like a bigger promotion?
No, dude, if the UFC calls you, you know what I mean, and you're in the position that I'm in, where I'm some kid from Springfield, Missouri, that nobody really knows right now. If the UFC calls you, you know what I mean, you pick up the phone and they ask you to jump, you say how high. A lot of these dudes think that you can come in running your mouth and acting like you run the show, trying to be Connor basically. And that's just not. That's just you got to be realistic. Got to be real with yourself, dude. If the UFC calls me, dude, I'm picking up the phone. That's if PFL called me, I'm picking up the phone. If LFA calls me, I'm picking up the phone. I was trying to take this February, dude. I was trying to take short notice fights on there, so I'm gonna be ready for until I'm having a baby in September. So I'm probably won't fight late August, September, October. But dude, if the UFC called me, I'd talk to my wife. You know what I mean? We would have a conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know, man. And with the baby on the way, is this going to be your first one?
No, that's the second one. I got a 4-year-old named Rainy B. She's the best. She just started jujitsu too, so
Very nice.
it's gonna be she's gonna be a Bella Mir situation one day. You know what I mean? I'm telling you.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's really, really good stuff. I'm glad that they're training. And
Oh
man,
yeah.
with that being said, with you fighting, do you like to bring your friends and family to these fights as well too?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've definitely got a really good support system. It's really cool. All three of my pro fights have been in Springfield, Missouri, which is where I'm from. Been there, was not born there, but I was raised there. And that's been really cool. So I've had the hometown crowd thing going on for my first three pro fights. And as an amateur, I didn't fight as I fought, and I had quite a few fights that were far away. I'd never really had a big crowd, and I'm selling a few hundred tickets in Springfield, so it's pretty cool. Having a and then there's a bunch of guys. It's not that Springfield's not a small town, but it's a big town, small city. So it's one of those things where I know half the people in the crowd, and that's been really cool for sure.
Now, does that give you like any sort of added pressure, like knowing that, like, hey, I sold my tickets to this guy and this guy, I got to make sure I put on a show, or you're just still just locked in no matter what?
I'd say it can definitely the anxiety and the nervousness. If anybody tells you they don't get anxious or nervous about fighting, they're probably lying. But that it comes in waves. That in the back before a fight, for about 5 minutes, I might be thinking, man, I am the
You're
man.
good.
I'm gonna walk through this dude. I'm just gonna knock him out. It's gonna be easy. And then I might be like, oh man, dude, this is gonna be a scrap. This is gonna be a tough fight. We're gonna go at it. It's gonna be a war. And it comes and goes in waves. I would definitely say that every now and then I'm like, man, I know all these people here. What if I get knocked out? Blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, I'm the one getting in there. And I really believe that my focus should be on my preparation and the process rather than the results. Obviously, that's easier said than done, but that's the goal. So I try not to think about that too much.
Right, right. No, that definitely makes sense, man. And when you're training and stuff, do you happen to have like any favorite songs you like to listen to in the gym when you're training and working out?
Yeah, dude. Right now, it's funny. We were joking. Every gym I've been in lately, I've been cross training a little bit for this fight. Everybody's playing like Million Dollar Baby and the Kendrick disses.
Yeah,
And those are playing in the gym today. And I was like, man, dude, I can move to this little Million Dollar Baby song. I can move to this little. Then the Kendrick song comes on, and everybody starts going a little bit harder. We broke the sweat, and I'm like, dude, let's go.
that's awesome, man. Now that Million Dollar Baby song, I love that song too, man. It's definitely a good
Right?
vibe. And yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Man,
Yeah.
when you're in the gym, obviously you got the good vibes on when it comes to the music. What's maybe some of
Mhm.
your favorite things you like to do in the gym?
I'm definitely. I love jujitsu. That's originally the first thing I started training in martial arts was jujitsu. I I played basketball in college, and that's kind of how that was what I grew up doing. I didn't grow up wrestling, didn't grow up boxing or nothing like that. I didn't have any real background when I started MMA, about 5 years ago. And the gym I was at, the gym I am at to this day, Team Fusion Jiu Jitsu and MMA. We're an MMA gym, but there's some really good quality jiu-jitsu there. It's a Zenith school under Robert Drysdale, and I really enjoy doing some jiu-jitsu, and then obviously playing punch face too. Who can't? Who That's pretty fun too.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%, man. That makes sense. And yeah, and another thing too, you mentioned grappling a little bit. There's a
Hmm.
local promotion kind of by me in Philadelphia. It's called Cage Fury Fighting
Yeah, yeah.
Championship. They do a lot of those grappling events. Would that be something you'd be interested in one day?
Dude, I would love that. I'm scheduled to do. I competed a lot as a blue belt. Haven't gotten to compete as a purple belt yet. I've only been a purple belt for about a year though, and I've been pretty focused on MMA. But I'm doing a Keen Tet here in Springfield on June. Well, not in Springfield, Missouri, on June 15th. Keen Tet style, the 4v4 deal where it's sub only, and one guy goes, and if nobody subs each other, they're both out type deal. And I'm pretty excited about that. I would love to do those grappling matches. That stuff sounds super sweet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're definitely a lot of fun to watch. I've been to a couple of them live, and yeah, it would definitely
Yeah.
be cool, man, if you could do one day. And with that being said, man, when it comes to just jujitsu and like training in general, do you happen to have maybe like a favorite submission you like to hit in the gym?
Lately I've been playing with my arm bars a little bit, trying to improve there. I've got long legs, so I feel like I need to have a really good arm bar triangle series. I've been messing with that a lot, and then I've been obsessed with trying to take the back lately. Obviously I like getting on top and smashing and passing too. That stuff is fun, but taking the back I think is my that's what I like to attack. I like to attack the back. I like to attack if somebody puts me on my back, I like to throw up some arm bars, some triangles, stuff like that.
Very nice, very nice. Now, you mentioned you did a little bit of cross training, man, and with you doing a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of cross training, when you're learning like different styles from your coaches, how are you able to like figure out, oh, I like this technique better than this one? How are you able to figure that out?
Just putting it in motion, testing it out. It's really nice when you're cross training because then, when you're training, we've all got our home gym, and when you're your teammates' game and your teammates know your game, and at the end of the day, your main source of information is the same. So it's different when you're cross training, and this guy doesn't know you. You don't really know who you're training with. You might not know their game necessarily. Um, and whenever you get advice, that's a really good time to try things out. Obviously, if you're really close to a fight, you know what I mean. It might not be a good time to try to add new things in. Just work with what you've got and get in the best shape you can. But that's definitely what I'd say. I'd say just putting it in motion, giving it a try.
Yeah, yeah, no, fair enough. That definitely makes sense. And
Mhm.
man, what's maybe some the best advice you might have got so far in your MMA career?
Man, that's a good one. The some things as far as there's a lot of different things. If I was talking about like dealing with promoters, for example, or just building your own career, always I had a guy tell me once, you can ask for whatever. The worst they can do is say no. And I think that's a big thing a lot of fighters don't think about doing. You know, whenever you've got to do things like getting your blood work done, you know, ask, be like, hey, will you guys cover my blood work? Stuff like that. Like just going, just asking for it. Always seeking out good roles, finding things that you don't like to do and doing those. Like I remember I didn't like jump roping. I was like, man, I really don't like jumping rope. I could hit the bag instead. I could go on a jog instead. And I was like, you know what? I need to work more jump roping into my training. And it was just one of those things where I was like, I need to be able to jump rope for like 20 minutes straight. And just started working at it, you know. And I think that's the biggest thing. Find things you don't like to do and listen to everybody, even if they suck, because if they suck, then they'll tell you what not to do.
That's hilarious that you said jump roping because I've been a Taekwondo instructor for 6 years and I've been training
Yeah.
Taekwondo for 19 years. And when I first started as a kid, I could not jump rope for the life of me. And I almost quit martial arts because of jump rope because I simply couldn't do it. But you know what? I went in the basement. I was just grinding. I had to do it. And eventually I got
Yeah.
really good at it. So that's really hilarious that you mentioned the jump rope was something you couldn't do as well, too.
Right. Dude, that,
Yeah,
that
no,
freaking
that's
jump
definitely a
rope.
tough one. Yeah, yeah, man, 100%. And you know, man, you know, I just mentioned I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been training
Mhm.
for 19 years now, teaching for 6. I just love what I do, man, and martial arts is
Yeah,
awesome. And yeah, with that being said, with all the guys I have in my gym, what advice do you have to those guys keep coming into the gym, keep on getting better and better every day?
man, just keep training, just keep showing up. A lot of times things can feel overwhelming. You know, when you look at it when you look at the big picture, it can feel overwhelming. You know, you'll show up to the gym and you'll see guys that are just way better than you. And you'll be like, man, how am I ever going to be that good? Um, and the longer you do this, like I've only been doing MMA for 5 years, and in the grand scheme of things, that's really not that long. There's guys that have been doing this, you know, like you said, 19 years in martial arts. And I remember things that even when I started, which relatively short time ago, thinking I'll never be able to do that. Like I'll never be able to hit this transition, or what you're getting taught a move and you'll think I'll never be able to do that. But like just keep giving it a go. All these guys that you see that are doing really good, you know, even the guys in the UFC, trust me, they all sucked at one time. You know, we all
Yeah,
started somewhere. So
yeah,
just
no,
keep showing
definitely.
up,
You
keep
definitely
giving it
touched
your
on it.
all.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely hear you there, man. And you know, Julius, what's maybe some cool things that maybe a fight fan might not know about you outside of the cage?
Yeah, man. It's a big time. I mean, a lot. Probably if people know me, they'll know this. But I was really big into basketball. Played basketball in college. Was a pretty solid player back in the day. And I'm actually a big time soccer guy too. Everton FC fan. Um, we had a decent year this year. We got screwed a little bit with some point deductions, but that's whatever. Big time there. And then the last random weird one I always throw out is I'm always like, yeah, I kind of a cat dude. I like cats, you know. If a cat likes you, I like dogs too. Don't get me wrong. I have 2 dogs myself, and I love them. But if a cat likes you, you know what I mean. That cat actually likes you, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
if a dog likes you, it's just because you're a dude and you're petting them.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
No, if you mentioned basketball, I mean, obviously you're a big dude. I mean, were you dunking and stuff too?
Oh yeah. I was. You know, I didn't dunk it a ton in games because it took me a really long time to realize that like it's not that hard. Like I can just go up and dunk the ball. Like um, it took me so long. It's funny. Like I remember my stepdad, who was he was pretty influential on my basketball career in middle and high school. Him always telling me like, dude, just dunk the ball. Like you can just go dunk the ball. And I would steal the ball and have a fast break and I go lay it up, you know, and I'd like palm it and be right at the rim and just lay it up and just like turn your hand over and dunk it. But so I started doing it. I started getting it, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, very nice. That's awesome, man. And you know, Julius, you know, it's been awesome talking to you, man. You have a ton of
Yeah,
potential, so it's been super cool, like talking to you. And with that being said, man, what's maybe a good final message out there for the fans that are going to be watching this video?
man, I appreciate all of you. If you're training, keep training, be positive, work hard. You know, God made us to be great, so go be great.
Yeah, yeah, man. And Julius, we're looking forward to that title fight, man. Like I said, you have a ton of potential, man. And you know, hopefully you keep winning. We can see you in that you know, bigger league sometime soon. And again, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to talk to me.
Hey, I appreciate you for having me on, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. And like I said, good luck with your title fight. We're looking forward to big things with you in the future.
Yes, sir, man. Everybody tune in.
My man. All right. Take care, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again.
Yes, sir.
All
Peace,
right, man.
brother.
Take care.